Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Art and Industry of Business and Living. You are with Simone, Milasas, your host, and I'm very lucky today. I have four guests, and I have four lovely gentlemen with me. So I'd like to introduce them. I'm in Bridging Beach at the moment, so I'm at home, and just up the road we have Mr. Mark Kerr. Mark, you want to say hello?
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
and then just a bit further down the coast, we have Mr. Sul. You want to say hello, Sul?
Hi, everyone.
And then we have, where are you, Roman? Are you in New Caledonia?
Yeah. Bonjour tout le monde. Hello, everybody
bonjour.
from New Caledonia.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were at home or not. So he's in New Caledonia. And then we have Mr. Hannes. And Hannes, are you in Vienna at the moment, Austria?
Yes, I'm in Vienna, and hi, everyone. And yeah, good evening or
awesome.
Good night.
Yeah. So we have four wonderful gentlemen on here. Now, why do we have four amazing, wonderful gentlemen who are all Access Consciousness facilitators? Well, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, and also Dr. Dane here, the co-creator of Access, Gary wrote a book called The Gentleman's Club, and he actually did a class many, many, many years ago. It was a 2-day class in the Sunshine Coast in Australia, which that book is actually created from. And he did it was basically just for men. And it was amazing what occurred. It's like, because I see so many times, in this reality, it's like men are sort of like getting a little bit confused of what they're supposed to be, and it's like, and how they can be. It's like, I think, from that era of when, women's lib came along, and then everyone got confused. I don't think the women even knew what they desired. It's like women were like, no, I can go in the workforce, I can do this, and do not open the door for me. And, all of this stuff that sort of went with it. And so I think men started to get really confused of what they were supposed to be. I mean, we grew up for hundreds of years of men are the ones who are supposed to go out and conquer the world and, go out and work and bring home the money and do that. And the woman is supposed to be at home looking after the kids and cooking, etc. And the amount of women I know who that would be their worst nightmare and they would prefer to go out and conquer the world is massive. And then the amount of amazing, men that I know that haven't been given the choice of what it is they would like to choose. Like, there's a lot of men I see who actually are so kind, caring, and nurturing, and like to create this nest at home, or they can go out and conquer the world. But the thing that I see is choice has come out of it, and I would like to put choice back into it. And Dr. Dane here has written a book called Return of the Gentleman's Club, and I know Brendan Watt, who is also an Access Consciousness facilitator, he told me a story years ago that, growing up, he was not surrounded by any men who were, a great invitation to him. In fact, he was surrounded by a lot of men who were violent and, not very kind at all. So when he met Gary Douglas and Dane here, he went, holy shit, this is actually what you can be as a man. You can be, you can wear really nice clothes. You can be, you can cry. You can be kind. You can be caring. You can be all of this. You can be whatever the hell you want to be. And you don't have to be this violent man. So he hadn't had that in his life. So Gary and Dane were such an invitation to men to see that there is a different possibility in the world. And what they've asked is they've asked these four gentlemen to actually go around the world and do these classes on Return of the Gentleman. So they're starting this year, and I'm super, super excited about it. We will talk more about at the end where they're going to be, but I am just going to tell you that Brendan Watt and myself are doing a relationship done different class in Noosa, Australia in April. And these guys are going to be doing an evening class there, followed by a 2-day class that'll be live streamed. So you're more than welcome to come to Noosa, Australia. It's going to be beautiful. It always is. Or you can also jump on live stream. So, and we're going to have more information about that in the download notes for you as well. So, but what I want to start with here is, and I don't know if I'm going to have to call out your names or you guys can just go crazy, but you're not like women. Women just get in there and be like, blah, blah. It's like you guys are not so much like that. But I would like to start by asking you, it's like, what do you see Return of the Gentleman be? Like, what do you see it being in the world? What's the biggest world you're trying to create with this? How do you see it being? Any of you can jump in. See how polite they are?
I'll jump in, Simone. Like,
hey, I'm going to ask you guys a favor because not everybody knows you. I know your voices, but when you jump in like that, can you just say, "Hey, it's Saul"? That's a good idea.
Yes.
Cool.
So yeah, it's Saul, and I think, like, for me, to be honest, when we were asked to come, to lunch with you and Gary and Dane and Brendan, I had no idea what this was about, and it was like, I was looking around at the other guys that were there, and I'm like, this is the weirdest bunch of people. Like, what are we all what are we all doing here? Like, I just was like, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then, as we were like sitting there and you guys started to like, tell us about, what had happened with the Gentleman Club books so far. And, it started to make sense because there's this place with all of the guys that are creating this class where, it's like they have a sense of themselves, and it's like that's something that for me, before I came to Access and started like using these tools and seeing people like Brendan and Gary and Dane, I didn't actually know that was like possible for me. It's like something that I think I'd been like sort of taught to like cut off. And so I guess what I would really like to create with this Gentleman's Club is like this place where like men and women can like have a sense of like who they are and not make themselves like wrong for it and not cut it off for anyone else as well. Because I get like both men and women are like largely taught that in order to, have a relationship with someone else, or even, in order to choose for themselves, there are all these things that you have to like cut off, to be with someone else or to have a sense of yourself. But like Dane and Gary and Brendan and yourself, Simone, have this sense of like being you and not having to cut yourself off for anyone else or anything else. So that's what I'd like to bring to the conversation and the classes.
Thanks, Saul. That was awesome. Man, that's definitely the energy that I'm asking for. Anyone else?
Yeah, Hannes here. Before Access, there was not the space that that Gary and Dane and Brandon and also you, Simone, are creating. And since I'm in Access, there are possibilities for me, and what I see also for other men and women that before they were not existing. And about the Gentleman's Club, it's how much man can really receive from men and also from women. I remember when I started with Access, Dane asked me a question, and it was, hey, you really can receive from men. And all the audience, they saw me and they thought, yeah, of course he can. But the answer was, no, I can't. And Dane said, okay, look at me. I'm a man. So if you can't receive from men, you can't receive from me. And what are you? You are also a man. And if you can receive from men, you never can receive from yourself. So what would it take that also with these classes that we will facilitate, we give or we show men and women that what would it take to receive from men and women and not to cut yourself, like Sul said also. Don't make yourself smaller than you are. Yeah.
Thank you, Hannes. That's brilliant.
Thank you, Hannes.
Yeah. So, Mark, Roman, have you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, Roman, yeah. I agree with all about what Saul and Hannes just said. I won't duplicate it. For me, when you proposed to us at this lunch, it was like crazy because I know something else was possible, and without excluding women, as they say, of course. And most of it, we during this lunch talking about our kids, girls and sons. And the school just coming back yesterday, and this morning Elodie, my wife, took Noah and Kian to the school, and there is the school principal, and Noah was just let the ladies pass by bowing, doing reverence, and the school principal says crudely that at our school the children were very, very well educated, and my wife in his head said, no, she's a gentleman like her father, like his father. And I was, when she told me that story, I said, yeah, that's what I want for my kids, for everyone else, the grown-up too, of course. But if we can create that space where people want to, educated and just share these amazing tools and being themselves in front of their kids and other kids, and if the next generation can grow up with that sense of space, getting their voice in the world without cutting anyone, will be so amazing, and it can make a so big difference. After the lunch, it was like the summer break for everyone, and I was so exciting. Oh, when we are going to start and stuff, and the last month it just went crazy, and all of you guys, all your contribution, and I can really see what it can be. Yeah, there's something else, and it's great. It's really great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, but I asked for not having any access prereq for this class because there is a lot less men in access than women, and we have a lot of women just registering to this class already, so it's great. But I really want a place where men can come and don't have any barrier, Oh no, there is no prereq, just come to the intro, have fun with us, ask your question and stuff, and let's make that fun, and let's get our space without cutting others. Thank you. Sorry I speak too much, I know.
No, you're not speaking too much, and I'm loving all the accents as well. And I just want to reiterate something that you said too, is with educating the kids, because it's like, what I'm going to say is empowering your children to be them at such a young age. It's like, I watch Nash, my 13-year-old stepson, and when he chooses to be him, he's such a gentleman. He always opens the door for you or does something like that. But it's more like this honoring. I mean, to me, being a gentleman is not just opening a door and opening a car door, etc., like that. It's like you guys have been talking about, being all of you, like being totally present and being, all of you, which then you start, when you're receiving you start to receive everyone around you, so that you actually increase your awareness and you become more aware of every single action you take and how that sort of ripples out there into the world. And I see so many men who have, hidden themselves rather than actually stand up tall and say, hey, I'm here. This is what I'd like to create. So, Mark, do you have anything to add to this?
Well, I thought I did. I just want to know how I can come to this class. I had a little, Saul started speaking, and I thought, I'll say this, I'll say that, and then he just blew my mind, and Hannes was the same.
Okay.
And,
so let me ask you a question, Mark.
Yo.
Because this is more what I see too. I mean, like I used to live with Brendan Watt for 8 years, and we had renovations on our house, etc. So we had a lot of tradesmen coming in here, and Brendan used to be a tradesman. And the amount of times I would come in and he'd be out in the backyard with a beer with one of the tradesmen going, it's all right, mate. And he goes, you know what, there's another possibility available. Like maybe they've just split up with their wife and they've got kids and they're like, can't see my kids. And Brendan's like, no, you've got to ask questions. And he would be just chatting to them because all they had been told basically is go to work, bring home the money, and you're an asshole and you're not, you're not important and you've done this and you've done that. And there was no one that was ever empowering them to be them and actually ask questions about what it is they'd like to choose. They were, and Brendan was that person. And I see some of the Facebook Lives, Mark, that you've done. If anyone wants to check out Mark Kerr's Facebook page. And the one thing that I always see, the vulnerability that you have in B, and when you talk about and say, hey, I'm just a bloke. It's like, so can you talk to that energy of like the men out there who are going, oh, I'm just a bloke, this isn't for me. And it's like, and here you are today. One of the kindest men I've ever met.
Yeah, I've heard that story you tell of Brendan a few times now, and it's something which really echoes with me as well, because I remember I used to come home from work sometimes and say to whoever I was living with at the time, have I got like counsellor written on my hard hat or shirt or something? Because it was the same thing, whether I spent a lot of years in the construction industry and mining and, where it's like men and you drink and, you're tough and all that sort of stuff. And I found that I didn't know how come it was happening, but I was also that guy where you might have been working with someone who had a chip on their shoulder or something like that and didn't get on with anyone, but for some reason I found I did, and this guy was coming to me and sort of opening up on what was going on in their life, and I hardly knew these guys, and at the time it didn't frustrate me at all. Obviously, it was a long time before access and knowing the tools. But it was something I was sort of grateful for as well, without really acknowledging it. That I don't know, I could go into these workplaces where you're not supposed to talk about anything other than getting on with work, and finding another side to these guys. Like, it's not as if they were crying on my shoulder and all this sort of stuff, but these guys were opening up, and I didn't know why. And I suppose now I understand things a little bit more in that you don't have to know why. You just have to.
Okay, can I tell you why?
I'd love you to.
Because you had no judgment of them.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's like, and what if, I remember Brendan telling me stories about, like on the work site, and on a Monday, people would be like, oh, did you get any on the weekend? That sort of thing. And he was always like, I don't know what to say. And it's like, so how many stereotypes are there for men, and how many men out there are trying to fit into a stereotype, and you will never fit into a stereotype. And everything that is, will you now please destroy and uncreate it? All right, and on good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And it's like, what if there was no judgment for whoever you be and whatever you be? I've got, friends of ours, their kids, it's like, which you guys know them as well. I love, as they've been growing up, one of the, there is a boy and a girl, and the little boy throughout the years is, they get their presents at Christmas, and he's the one that grabs the doll and starts playing with the doll. And it's like, or he's the one that, wants to wear the pink glasses, And it's like, what if you actually just allowed everyone to be who they be? There's everything that's stereotyped. Blue is for boys, pink is for girls. Why? And it's like, so what if this is the beginning of destroying and uncreating all of the stereotypes that we have with men, that we have with women? And what if, the value of being and having a gentleman in your life and being that is about finding out what else is possible, and with no judgment, and being totally present with everything that goes on. It's like, what choices are available? What could we create in the world if we were willing to be that contribution with each other? It's like, and everything that doesn't allow that to show up, let's destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And if you're only just new to the show and you want to find out more about the clearing statement, don't forget to check out theclearingstatement.com with the author of Return of the Gentleman's Club, Dr. Dane here, explaining it all to you. So we've got a few minutes. Go ahead.
Can I just quickly jump in on that? As you were talking about Dane's book, The Return of the Gentleman, it's like when he was talking to Liam Bramley about, and Liam was asking him questions, and he was telling Dane, he was like, look, you don't understand, like, the information out there about how to be like a gentleman and what that is like how to pick up girls, or, it's like Liam had like YouTubed all of this stuff about, like how to be a gentleman and what it is. And he said, you don't realize, but like, you're the only one that showed me like a different possibility. And that's how that, like Gentlemen's Club like started, in that conversation. And then what the book, came from. And so it's like, I guess with this, I get, it's like there is a different possibility available, but so many people don't know about it. Like the information and stuff that's out there is just like so different to what we're looking to create and like provide and yeah, I guess it's like just acknowledging that, because like I look around and I've got friends and stuff as well that I see that they have this place of difference. They know that there's something different, but they have no idea where to even start to like explore that for themselves, or even start to like talk to other people about it. I guess it's like this really does seem like a really like a starting point as well for something else.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for you guys, because also what I see when you see men's clubs and things like that around the world, it's same with women, get together. There seems to be an exclusion of the other sex rather than an inclusion. Like, what if there was no separation? What if there was no exclusion? It's like, and that's what I see you guys are being as well. So I'm so grateful. So we've got like about, 8-10 minutes left of the show. So I'm just wondering if you guys have any, processes, questions, or any tools that people can take away and start to get a vibe of what this is all about, and how they can start to, live and be from that much bigger picture.
Hey, Roman again. Oh, sorry, Anis.
No, go for it, Roman.
Because when I was listening to Sul and Mark, there is a craving from the book, Return of the Gentleman, really jumped me. So I found the page, and if you were to embrace that energy, that level of being, vulnerability, potency, and that level of having your own and everybody else back, what would be possible to change in our world? Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive it, to know it, to receive it, and to actually choose to be it now, no matter what it looks like and no matter what it takes, we would destroy and create it, please.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, button, popcorn, line shot, boys and beyond.
Thank you.
And
Merci.
I have a last one. You're welcome, de rien. What has made so vital, valuable, and real about living from the box of other people's expectations that keeps me from being the greatness of the gentleman I truly be? Everything that is Simon Dylan will destroy and create it, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, put and popcorn, line shot, boys and beyond. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Hannes,
thank you. Yeah, Hannes here. The opinion of a lot of men is, if you are kind, caring, and nurturing, then you are a loser or you are a doormat. But what if this kindness and this caring and this nurturing includes also the potent and the power that a man can be? I
was just going to say, the four of you, Brendan, Gary, Dane, are some of the like kindest, caring, nurturing men I've known, and you are definitely not doormats. So I think.
Thanks. Yeah, everything that doesn't allow to acknowledge that if you are kind, caring, and nurturing, you that includes also to be potent and powerful.
Yes.
And so we do the strength and grade it all.
Yep.
Right and wrong, good and bad, button, popcorn, and shot, spice, and beyond.
I mean, that's another stereotype that you grow up with, that you see in movies. You see all of that the guy who's kind never gets the girls. And it's like, I'm sorry. And it's like, You know, what if the guy who was kind actually gets the women who are willing to be kind to them? And everything that doesn't allow that to show up and that to be a reality, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all named shorts, boys and beyonds.
And
I've got a last one.
Go.
And it's really, I found it very relevant, like talking to me, and it's how much of what other men are doing as competition is where they are actually attracted to you or turned on by you, and they can't have it. So they have to hate you to keep you far enough away. Everything that brought up time ago, Dylan, will you destroy and create it, please?
Yes.
Why then one good and bad turn for all 9 short boys and beyond?
That's actually a really good topic.
Competition, and what if we can have something completely different in this world, in our world, and create a completely new, different realities?
Yeah. You know, there's a great story that Gary Douglas has when there was his daughter Shannon actually, you know, came to him the next day and said, "Hey, I saw these 2 guys last night in Santa Barbara and they were fighting." And she said it was so weird because when I looked at them, it was like they didn't want to be fighting. They wanted to be, you know, having sex or hugging or something like that. And it's like, how many times, you know, and would be a big key point. How many times do you see men, like you said, who do competition, who fight, but actually probably what they want is like a big hug. It's like to be vulnerable, you know, with each other. So it's like, what if that was a possibility? I'm so excited that you guys are doing these classes, truly. So, Sue, Mark, anyone else? Do you have any other tools, questions, anything else you want to leave the listeners with?
Yep. I just love the fact that when we all catch up, whether it be classes or in a social scene, not a lot of us are all really big talkers, and the energy which just this class has created and this call now, like I can sort of see everyone, you know, hitting mute, but then they take it off mute, waiting for their turn, because everyone really wants to be a contribution to this. And I know we touched on something else just before this about making a demand for things like this, and it's time to step up and sort of things have to change. A lot of the time with whatever topic, subject, class I get involved with, it always comes back to pretty much one thing with me of being you, and whatever that looks like, from, you know, as I learn more tools and that type of thing too, without, you know, lowering the barriers, stopping the judgment of yourself and obviously people around you, and being you. And it doesn't matter to anyone else what that looks like, whether it is your family, your friends, partners. It's just you being in that space and that, and I suppose that lightness and joy of being you, whatever that looks like, is it. You know, there's plenty of cliches and all that, but it'll change your life if you're willing to be it and to receive everything from men and women and whatever it is. Being in that space, man, you know, shit just changes like you would not.
Yeah, what if you didn't have to lock yourself in as a definition of what a man is, which I'm sure you guys are going to be covering in the classes as well. How does it get into
Totally. I mean,
okay.
I've just got one more thing here quickly. I know there's a few things from the book, and one says is, what if the biggest...
Okay, so you just got cut off. I'm not sure why. Mark, I think you may have muted yourself.
Simone, I'll just jump in. I just wanted to say, thank you to you and Brendan as well. I know you guys are doing the relationship, done different classes, and it's that's really been opening the door for a different possibility for all of this as well. And I just wanted to say thank you and thank you so much for having us on this podcast and contributing to us. I know we're all been super grateful for everyone contributing and everything. So thanks so much.
You're so welcome. And as we've been, doing this podcast, we've been Skyping each other, and we're going to do another one. And we're going to actually, pick a topic. I think we might do something on competition. So with these 4 gentlemen here. So can one of you guys give the information of how people can find you? And the classes, the dates that you've got it on. Is it the 22nd and 23rd of April? Is the 2-day class that's live streamed? And what is the evening? What date is that? Australia time zone too.
It's going to be on the second, the night of the second day of the relationship done different class. So it will be the.
And we'll post those up anyway. So if you download the notes from this podcast, and we will. Yeah. Well, God, I can't even speak. You guys are making me speechless. It'll be the 20th. So Saturday the 20th, if you want to spend Saturday night, Australia time zone with these 4 gentlemen, you're more than welcome to. If you actually come to the Relationship Done Different class, that class is free. If not, that you're paying for it. And then you've got the 2-day class, 22nd and 23rd of April. And as Roman said, it's no prerequisite. So you don't have to have done an Access Consciousness class before. I do highly recommend that you jump on Amazon or go to accessconsciousness.com and purchase the Gentleman's Club book and also the Return of the Gentleman's Club, because then that'll, set you off on your way. And I'm just going to run those 2 processes again that Roman did. So what have you made so vital, valuable, and real about living from the box of other people's expectations that keeps you from being the greatness of the gentleman you truly be? And everything that is times a gazillion, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pocket, pot, all night, shorts, boys and beyond. And then one more, if you were to embrace that energy, that level of being, vulnerability, potency, and that level of having your own back, that piece is so prevalent, of having your own and everybody else's back, what would be possible to change in our world? And everything that doesn't allow you to perceive it, to know it, to receive it, and actually to choose to be it now, no matter what it looks like and no matter what it takes for you to destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad,
yes.
all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So, and you've got a YouTube channel as well. People can find that. Is it called Return of the Gentleman? Is it that simple?
It's called Gents Club. The Gents Club.
The Gents Club.
The Gents Club. Boom. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for being on this show. You guys are an inspiration to me, and I absolutely adore each and every single one of you. And I look forward to having you guys on here again and seeing you somewhere around the world.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Simone. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Everyone.
And see all of you. Bye-bye.